Welcome to my channel. Enjoy this video and subscribe my channel. Red One combines action, fantasy, and Christmas, but it missed a key element to every successful Christmas movie and ended up suffering for it. Directed by Jake Kasdan and written by Chris Morgan, Red One follows Callum Drift, Dwayne Johnson, commander of ELF, Enforcement Logistics and Fortification, and thus the one in charge of North Pole security. On Christmas Eve, Callum faces the biggest emergency of all, Santa Claus, J.K. Simmons, being kidnapped by a mysterious figure who broke into the North Pole. The initial investigation leads to Jack O'Malley, Chris Evans, a hacker who was hired to break into the North Pole's security without really knowing it was the North Pole. Callum reluctantly teams up with Jack to find and rescue Santa and together find out that the one behind his kidnapping is the Winter Witch Gryla Kiernan Shipka. Red One wasn't well received by critics, but clicked a lot better with the general audience, but despite its strengths, it missed a key part of every successful Christmas movie, which ended up affecting it. Red One is sorely missing having any kids as main characters despite being a Christmas movie, with Santa Claus in the middle of the core conflict that puts Christmas at risk worldwide. Red One is surprisingly missing kids as main characters. The North Pole has a bizarre variety of characters working non-stop to make sure Christmas goes smoothly and perfectly, from seemingly immortal humans to talking animals like polar bears and penguins, but there are no kids around. Surely it's understandable that there would be no kids at the North Pole and around Santa Claus workshop, but there aren't any kids as main characters in the rest of Red One. The only kid character in Red One is Jack's son, Dylan Wesley Kimmel, but he's not a main character and doesn't do much in the movie. Jack and Dylan are estranged, as Jack doesn't really know how to be a father and often ends up missing his visiting days, school events, and more. Jack missing Dylan's Christmas recital is the final straw for the latter, who angrily calls Jack to ask him why he's not there and why he sent him a snow globe. However, it was sent by Gryla to imprison Dylan. Jack takes the one he received so he can save his son, and they have a heart-to-heart conversation while imprisoned in snow globes at Santa Claus' old workshop. This conversation softens them, amends their relationship, and makes them nicer, breaking them free from the snow globes, and that's all there is of Dylan. Dylan is important to Jack's story and development, but he isn't a main character. Kids are essential to Christmas movies, especially those with Santa. While it's not a rule for every Christmas movie to have kids as main characters, they have become an essential part of them. Many Christmas movies, such as Home Alone and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, rely on kids to tell their story and add some extra fun to it, and even movies that aren't centered on children or aimed at them include them in their casts, and they play a key role in adding warmth and fun to the story, as happens in Christmas with The Cranks and The Holiday. Most importantly, Christmas movies that also include Santa Claus in any capacity have kids as key characters. After all, they are the ones who keep the tradition of Santa Claus alive and the ones who get presents from him. Red One is a Christmas movie, and Santa Claus is a main character, but it doesn't have any kids in active roles in the story, and even Dylan falls more into teen territory than kid. On top of that, Red One is also a comedy, but it didn't consider necessary to add children for that extra Christmas charm, joy, and touch of comedy. Red One focused on adults instead of kids and suffers for it, instead of having kids as part of its main cast and as an active part of its story. Red One focuses on adults, and that ends up affecting it. Callum and Jack are both going through personal issues that have affected their views on Christmas. Callum has lost his ability to see the wonder and good in people, and Jack just can't see the good in anything anymore and has lost his wonder. At the end of Red One, Jack regains his wonder after rescuing Santa Claus and reconnecting with Dylan, while Callum is able to see the wonder and magic of Christmas again. Red One ends up being a Christmas movie for adults, and that's a big reason why it didn't quite connect with most viewers, as the story would have worked best with kids as its main characters. After all, they're the ones who would have been the most affected by Santa Claus kidnapping and Christmas not happening. All in all, Red One still succeeded, but it would have performed a lot better by having kids in its main